Okay, just picture this for a second. You step outside tonight, look up at the sky, expecting to see our good old moon. But instead, you see a colossal ringed giant hanging up there. It's beautiful, but it's also absolutely terrifying. So let's dive into this wild what if. What would actually happen if Saturn just took the moon's place? The very second Saturn appeared, our entire world would change forever. Instantly. Earth would stop being a planet, and instead we'd become a moon, trapped in an unforgiving gravitational grip. The real question is, could any of us survive long enough to even process what was happening? So, those first few minutes would be nothing short of a horrifying spectacle. Before we get to the chaos, let's just try to wrap our heads around the sheer scale of our new neighbor. The numbers here are they're staggering. I mean, our moon is huge, we know that, but Saturn, it would appear 33 times wider in our sky. It would completely dominate the view. And its mass? It's over 7,700 times greater than the moon's. And as we all know, with that kind of mass comes an absolutely enormous gravitational pull. Now, you definitely see those famous rings. They'd stretch across the entire sky, from one horizon to the other. But here's the trippy part. Because we'd be lined up with Saturn's equator, they wouldn't look like majestic, open rings. Nope, they'd look like a razor-thin, shimmering line cutting the heavens in two. A truly spectacular and, frankly, ominous sight. That incredible beauty would last for maybe a moment. Because while we're all staring up in awe and terror, Saturn's gravity would be getting to work on our planet, unleashing total, absolute chaos. It would set off a catastrophic chain reaction. You know how our moon causes tides? Well, Saturn would do the same thing, but thousands of times stronger. The oceans would be pulled into these massive bulges, spawning mega tsunamis hundreds of meters high that would just erase coastlines from the map. And it wouldn't just be the water. The solid ground beneath our feet would buckle, stressing every single fault line past its breaking point. We're talking global, simultaneous earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. This quote really says it all, doesn't it? There would be no safe place on Earth. Every city, every building, every single structure would be shaken to pieces. This isn't one disaster we're talking about. It's every single disaster you can imagine happening all at once, everywhere on the planet. For anyone who somehow, by some miracle, survived that initial onslaught, well, the nightmare is far from over. See, Earth is no longer in its own safe, predictable orbit. We're now being dragged on a new, deadly trajectory right through Saturn's entire system. Let's just be crystal clear about our new status in the solar system. Earth is now just another one of Saturn's many moons. We're caught in a death spiral, being pulled closer and closer to the gas giant. And that means we have to run the gauntlet of its other moons. We think of the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs as the ultimate impact event, right? That thing was about 10 kilometers across. Well, one of the first moons we'd likely encounter, a moon called Dione, is over 1,100 kilometers across. That's more than 100 times larger. A collision isn't just likely at this point, it's almost inevitable. An impact with Dione would be absolute. As it tore through our atmosphere, the entire sky would just ignite. The collision would punch a crater the size of a country deep into the crust, unleashing a firestorm that would incinerate everything. Molten rock would rain back down from the sky like lava. The bottom line is simple and brutal. Every single living thing would be gone. The surface of the Earth would be completely sterilized. But hey, let's just say we get ridiculously lucky. I mean, lottery-winning, needle-threading lucky. And we somehow missed Dione and all the other big moons. The journey still isn't over. Next up, the rings. And they aren't just pretty dust. They are trillions of pieces of ice and rock, from tiny pebbles to city block-sized boulders. Flying through them would create the most spectacular and deadly meteor shower in history. A constant bombardment, just pulverizing anything left on the surface. So, whether we collide with a moon or get sandblasted by the rings, it actually doesn't matter. Earth's final destination is the same. It's a fate that was sealed by a fundamental law of physics the moment this all started. This all comes down to a really cool, and in this case, terrifying concept, the Roche limit. You can think of it as an invisible boundary around a massive object, like Saturn. Once a smaller body, like say our planet Earth, crosses this line, the bigger object's tidal forces become so powerful that they literally tear the smaller one to pieces. For Earth, that point of no return is about 71,000 kilometers away from Saturn.
The second we drift past that distance, our planet's own gravity just isn't strong enough to hold itself together anymore. The end is now measured in hours.
And this is the final, catastrophic act. Saturn's gravity starts pulling harder on the side of the Earth facing it than it does on the far side. This massive difference in force begins to stretch our planet out like it's a piece of taffy. It deforms, it cracks, and then, within just a few hours, it's completely shredded into billions of chunks of rock and debris. Our world, our home, becomes nothing more than a new, rocky ring orbiting Saturn.
It is a truly sobering thought, isn't it? Our entire history, everything we've ever known, every mountain and every ocean, disintegrated and just spread out into a beautiful, silent band of debris. And maybe, just maybe, in the far, far distant future, some explorers from another star system will gaze upon Saturn's magnificent rings and they'll wonder, how did that rocky one get there?